Well, if you saw my last video, I gotta apologize. I set my camera up and it was way too close to the furnace, and still had some machines running down there, and I wanted to go over the ring compressor and show you what I found on this. I've come up here to this department. I had to move up here to the spot welding department. Everybody's left for the day, so it should be fairly quiet. The oil control rings in these Detroits, but they always tell you not to get the expanders overlapped. But one of the things they don't really warn you about is that there is a lot of tension on them. That expander sits in there. It's a little different than some of the expanders I've seen on cars, and it's got a lot of tension. The Detroit ring compressor, I believe, is one of its secrets is that it fits in this bevel right here. And if you use a standard ring compressor, those oil rings have so much tension on them, I'm going to guess that that flat bottom compressor is going to allow one of those small oil rings to drop down in this groove, and then this groove now becomes responsible for trying to compress it, and it can get caught on there fairly easy. I had Cameron load this up in the lathe, and it's a little shiny, so it's hard to see from this, but instead of being flat bottomed, we've got a taper on it to match the taper of the bottom of the Detroit liner. And so when it gets dumped off, as the spring goes into the cylinder, it don't get dumped off here at the end as like if you had a flat bottom, on a car or something like that, where you're just loading them from the top. You're not going to have this little taper here to worry about your rings falling down into. So we compensated for that with this, and it worked really well. On the video you can see it worked really well, and there was a couple of them that I had to tap in with a hammer a little bit, but it was a real small dead blow hammer and just a couple little taps. And but my paranoia got me thinking, I should pull those out, see what they're like, and try to reshoot this part of the video a little bit so I can show you how the ring compressor works. This is the number 2, and I'm going to do number 4 here in a minute. I'm going to start by taking this number 2 out, make sure I didn't break any of the rings, and then I'm going to reinsert it. Okay, none of them are broke. None of them are overlapping. None of the expanders appear to be overlapping. Could have done a little bit better job of lining those. This time. All right. See why guys take the nuts off, because you've got to really get them lined up to get those out, but I like to keep everything the same. It's still good, nice and smooth. All right, I'm gonna go get number 4, just see you try her again. Okay, here's number 4. It's probably okay, but my paranoia, I'll sleep better. Definitely harder to come out because of the way the scrapers are. And boy, they have tension. And neither one of them's broke. I don't think they could be overlapped, because if they're overlapped, it won't collapse far enough to go down in. Alright, let's try this again. You can see another feature of the Detroit one, you would tend to keep your piston more lined up. You know, when you get this one started in, the compression and the fire rings, they go in real easy. But so in that zone right there, you know, there's a little slop, but I don't know. This is pretty smooth. I've seen some guys online, they got them on the floor and they're pushing on them. And a lot of people don't even videotape it because it seems violent. But that's pretty smooth. Try to get it off without scratching it. The nuts being clocked wrong definitely get in your way. But I think that's pretty smooth for a homebrew. And there is definitely some tension on those rings. Anything modern these days, that's a lot of tension.